discussion or the my sort of signature thing. I think if I do err on the side of making it stronger, because people tend to drink it and they'll be like, oh, that's strong, and then the complaints get less and less as the night progresses, and it's normally fine, and they tend to thank you for it. But
until it gets to the morning, and then they start cursing you for it. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, I'd forgotten about White Russians. Actually, I need to get on that again. Actually, need to watch Big Lebowski and then have some White Russians. I think that's the plan.
Pop the dressing gown on, grow the beard. Yeah. In fact,
the beard's already in the way.
One of your specialities is at Thanksgiving and Christmas is the eggnog.
Oh my gosh!
That's
of course,
plenty of brandy, plenty of nutmeg. Eggnog is no treat. I look forward to that every year.
Favorite, yeah. No, everyone loves that. I think I've not met a person that's not enjoyed that. Actually, it's such a festive drink, and it's the cool thing about English people having it, and I include myself within that because I only ever had it during Thanksgiving. Is that it's such a specific moment, like. People have had it, but they've only had it on my Thanksgiving night or during Thanksgiving or whatever. So they've got a memory associated with this specific drink, which is very cool. Like, because every time I like to think every time they drink that, even if I'm not there, they'll be thinking of Thanksgiving, which is quite cool. Damn, I hope this whole lockdown's done by Thanksgiving.
Oh, I think we'll be okay by Thanksgiving. Yeah,
I think you're right. I bloody hope so. Otherwise, we'll be. Yeah, there'll be more complications otherwise. But yeah. Okay, so just quickly, just to touch on the ice thing, because I feel like that's an important question that any spirit drinker needs to have a think about.
Yeah.
What are your
I'm
ideas?
in the dash of water camp.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike ice. If we're talking specifically like Scotch or single malt or whatever, I dislike ice because it makes it cold. So it's a bit like people have the tendency to over chill white wine as well, and it's just like so cold that there's almost no flavour in there.
Sure.
People make it over cold. So I think it's a similar sort of thing goes on if you put like ice or a load of ice in your Scotch. I find it just kills the flavour. So I don't want anything that changes the temperature. But I also like just a dash, when they give you a little pipette or like something, or a little spoon or something where you just get exactly the right amount, just a dash of water. However, I'll always give it a taste or two completely neat, just to check the lay of the land. You know what I mean?
Sure.
See what's going on, any flavours that I might not get in a second, and then think, yeah, great, got a good sketch of that. Dash or two of water, and I find a whole load of different flavours come out, and it opens up a touch. But yeah, I'm not, I'm not a Scotch and soda guy. I find that's horrible.
Yeah, I tried that. I listened. I read a book which heavily featured Churchill, and sort of listed his sort of like daily drinks and cigars intake and stuff. And I was like, right, I'm going to try and recreate this guy a little bit.
Try and do it. A day in the life of Churchill, mate. We should do it. Let's do it.
We wouldn't be able to do it. In his prime, he was an absolute beast. This guy, like, I'm talking like 9 o'clock in the morning. He's in the war room. He's got whiskey and soda right? on the go. Yeah, totally. And then he's already down to his second cigar. You know, it's like intense. I mean, this man was obviously a legend for many reasons. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was a different time, I guess, but I can't imagine getting through a whole day of his intake.
Oh, mate. Yeah, you've got to be weaned onto that sort of thing, haven't you? Like
Totally.
But I think he smoked eight Churchill-sized cigars, Churchill being the size of the cigar named after Churchill. Mm-hmm. And he also, I think I might have even read the same thing or something. Yeah, and this guy tried to recreate it, and he like has half a bottle of champagne at lunch, and he's had a bottle of claret at night, and he's having Scotch and soda like it's water throughout the day. Just as little pit stops between his other drinks, his proper drinks throughout the day, and then he has half a bottle of port, and and then a full, a proper Scotch, a neat Scotch later on in the evening, and polishes it off with a bottle of champagne, and and then he wakes up again the next day and starts again. Yeah, ridiculous.
What a legend in so many ways.
Yeah,
in so many ways.
And he lived quite a long life, didn't he? He lived into his 80s, right?
He did all right.
60s or something.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah, he wasn't young. definitely not. So
I think he's the exception rather than the rule, but we'll give him his kudos.
He's the exception that proves the rule that you should never do that. But but yes, so he was an exceptional guy in many ways. He lived a seriously full life. Yeah, he was a very visionary guy, very cool guy. Can't remember where I got into this. Anyway, soda and scotch.
Oh yeah.
It's not great. is the moral of the story there?
Yeah, I've tried to like it a few times, and I'm like, this is just weak ass scotch. It's just like I'd rather just drink scotch.
Yeah, it's too weak. That's the problem. It's
like scotch flavored water. In fact, speaking of sort of inspirational, larger than life characters, some would say of their time, obviously I'm a massive Bond fan, by which I mean the Bond books and Ian Fleming, and I've been reading I read a biography of Fleming, and now a more specific biography of Fleming about when Fleming in Jamaica, because he had this big house in Jamaica called Goldeneye, which is where they got the name Goldeneye from, obviously, for the film. Yeah, he's another one of these guys that was like massive drinker, massive smoker, big character. He pissed a few people off, did a lot of traveling. I'm reading his Thrilling Cities book as well, which is great, where the Times basically paid him, all expenses paid, just go around the world and just write about it, have a good old time and just write, which is incredible. Like, I don't imagine people get gigs like that nowadays, but
absolutely not.
Yeah. It didn't even seem like he did much work. I mean, just wrote a few bits down and that was it. There's only one chapter on each place, but yeah, it sounds like he had a good time. But yeah, he's another one I think that fits into that larger than life category, isn't he?
Totally. Yeah.
But he on the other hand didn't make it to a very ripe age. I think he died at would it have been 54 or something, like quite young. But he smoked like 70 a day or something, because Bond smokes 50, 60 a day.
Sure.
I think Fleming, I don't think there's a picture of Fleming without a fag in his hand. It's ridiculous.
No, I think you're right. To be honest, the closest I've probably ever come to smoking cigarettes is I can't remember which Bond book it was. I think he meets the MI6 guy. Oh my gosh, maybe it's Jamaica. One of the guys he meets up with before the mission, and they have their own cigarettes made, like hand rolled, like turkey. Like
is it from Russia with Love? Is it when he's in?
That may sound right.
Is it when he's in Turkey? I think he's in Istanbul, isn't he, with Darko Karim?
You got it.
Yeah,
that's it. And he had yes, where they're doing all this espionage against the Russians, and they're spying on the Russians, right?
And
then the bomb goes off. Sure. So, yes, and this description of these cigarettes, these like handmade, like his own blend of Turkish tobacco with these gold bands on them.
It's good marketing, isn't it?
Oh,
it's very
my God.
good.
I was like, yeah, I want one of those. They sound great.
Do you remember the days of smoking in pubs? Did you play music young enough to still be allowed? Not you personally, but like be around people smoking.
I was in pubs, not musically. I was there for sports.
Oh, so
because I was part of like a sports club, basically, with a pub, effectively. So you'd play sports, and then your parents had a game or something, and then you'd go back,
of course,
and just be surrounded by it. Yeah.
I bet in the golf club, right? Your dad's golf club.
This is prior to golf, actually.
Oh, right, cool.
So he actually got into golf relatively late in his life. So how he's got as good as he is? Yeah,
but he's like he's the chairman and the scratch golfer and all that. That's incredible.
Yeah. I think he's off 3 at the moment.
Oh, cool.
But he plays for the scratch team, but he's off 3 at the moment, which is pretty impressive. That is a sport I wish I had more patience for.
Oh, mate, that's a whole episode on its own.
Sure.
Isn't it? Like,
you're right.
I've tried to play golf for years and years, and I know what the problem is. I don't practice enough. Like most things, I don't practice. That's why it's hard. But it's just so hard. Like, I've had lessons. I've got loads of mates that play and stuff, and it's one of those sports. It's like sort of like playing the violin that we were on about ages ago. It's like when you first start playing the violin or playing golf, you just can't physically do it. You can't make a note, or you can't hit the ball. Like, you can't physically do it. Whereas with football, like, everyone can kick a ball. It might not go, perfectly. It might not go very far or whatever, but you can just about run up and kick the ball, and you can have a good time playing football, right?
Yeah.
Golf, you can't. Like, you can't just say, oh, go on, just come along for a laugh and go round. Because for a start, you need loads of expensive gear, expensive clobber. Like it costs a lot to go round, you know, and then it's just a terrible time because the sun's beating down and like you just, you know, hacking your ball into the lake for most of the time. You know, and that's it. That's the end of the day. Especially if you're not even an adult, because you can't even have a beer after it. At least, you know, now we're adults, you can go around and you can have a terrible round, but you can have a few beers or whatever. But
sure. Yeah. I'm 100%. I think I've learned now, because I play it so infrequently. Whenever I do play it, I take 2 clubs with me. I take a 7-iron and a putter, and that is it.
Nice.
I drive with the 7-iron. And I just get onto the green with a 7-iron and I putt it in. And I don't. And as long as I just restrict myself to that, I know I'm going to be able to hit it with a 7-iron, and I know I'm going to be able to putt it somewhat in straight line. So, and then the frustration has just dropped a lot more. Give yourself too many options.
That's your top tip. Greg's top tip.
Top tip. There you go. Gavel me.
Yeah.
There we go. Good.
Oh dear. I think we've had a good run, mate.
I think we have, mate. What a good episode. You guys listening, bloody lucky you are, aren't you?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Everyone.
You can have that one for free.
I mean, if you'd like to send in free stuff, free endorsements, that would be great. But,
that's it. We need to get a Patreon or something. That's what we need.
Nice.
Cool,
all right,
man.
mate. Good talking to you, as always. I feel like we're in a virtual pub. Eventually, we will be in a real pub or a real, you know, one of our houses or a real restaurant or something. But for the time being, we're in the virtual pub. And thank you to anyone that has joined us. Anyone who's had a good time.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments or something, right?
Well, now we've got we're fishing after ratings now. Apparently, they're really important.
Yeah,
you know what to do. Do us a favour.
Yeah,
good old rating, bit of a comment, bit of a like, etc., etc.
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice.
All right, mate. Well, on that bombshell.
Yeah, on that bombshell. Take care.
Over and out.